Alright, one more thing I forgot to mention. I did say that the body mounts were shot on this. What are you saying? Where's your brother at? I did say the body mounts are shot. So it rattles and bangs and flexes away from the frame and is about ready to roll off the frame when I'm wheeling one time, and I'll roll with the body and my frame will keep going. Won't be a good day. So what's going to happen is I'm going to cut off this back part here. Make a cut here in front of the window, cut down along the window, all the way out the back on both sides, and then cut all the way across the top of the roof. And then this part will be gone. Windows will be gone. The hatch will be gone. And I'm trying to save these fenders here, kind of help save the paint job. I'll cut out all the wheel well on both sides, cut out the floor because the floor is rusty and gone, and hopefully get the body secured up front, build a hoop on the inside, build bars, sorry about that, build bars down along here, a standard 4-point roll bar around me, and then in the back I'll do some fancy bars come down from there, do some bars coming out to support the body, connect to the frame in a few places, do a rear area for some tail lights, reverse lights. I want to try to dovetail the rear panels in closer to the frame, and along with all of that, that stock axle, the axle's in the stock location. Well, since I'm building new drive shafts, I figured might as well get as much wheelbase as I can. I will, if I flip those springs 180 degrees like that, I will gain a few inches back because the center pin is not exactly in the middle of the eyelets. It's actually closer on the front than on the rear. So if I flip those, I should gain some inches. Well, those springs there are out of a 2001 Ford Sport Track. I think they have 1,100 pounds, 900 pounds of weight. Don't quote me on that. What I am looking at is 94 to 2001 Dodge 1500 4x4 rear leaf springs. They're about 3 3/8 inches longer. If I flip those from their stock position, I'll gain about 6.5 inches or so. It'll push my shackles back a little bit, but not much. So I'm okay with that. If I flip those, then I'll gain, and then I'll be over 100 inches. Right now I'm right around 94 inches, which is stock Bronco 2. If I flip those, then I'll gain a wheelbase, and I'm really looking for wheelbase because sometimes it can get a little hairy on some hills, so wheelbase will help. But yeah, I plan to lose a lot of this. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of it getting hot in the summertime, no flow. I will be building tube doors eventually, so stick around to see those. Stick around to see me cut the top off of this, and the bar and the roll cage. I'll be doing all the roll cage and moving the axle back, and yeah, lots of stuff this winter. It's just into December. I got a good solid few months to get going on this, so stick around. Alright guys, I got the shifter out and the tonneau cover taken out. I had some sound and heat foil taped down around this area because there's so much hot air coming in from the engine. It would make inside the cab ridiculously hot, which is it helped, but that's half the reason why I'm cutting this off. So help with airflow in the summertime and hot months. And cold months, I'll just have to dress warm. That's just part of it, because I never finished my fan box over here for my heater. So right now I'm running with no heat. My heater cord's hooked up, my heater hoses are hooked up, but I never did get the box put back on there because you got to notch it out for the valve cover, and I just didn't take the time to do that because I finished this up in spring last year and I didn't need heat, so didn't do it. And Now I got the whole engine in there, and it's going to make it hard to do it. So I'll just get a small heater or something from Summit or something like that and place it down here in this floorboard or whatever. And I have a 12-volt little mat that goes in my seat that will heat up like a heated seat. So we'll see how that does in the wintertime. But I'll look at some different kind of electric heaters that I can throw down here or something along those lines. So, yep, got the like I said, I got the tunnel all undone, got the shifter out, shifter cables out, and let's go underneath and see what's going on. All right, guys, I got the rear drive shaft taken off. I've gotten most of the bolts out and off the cross member. I have made a cross member here to go between the stock radius arm mounts, which is the stock arms off of the Dana 44. I bolted them right to the frame. Didn't use that hole because some issues with, there's a giant gap there. I guess I could put the bolt in there with a spacer, but on the other side there's too much junk in the way to be drilling in that spot specifically. So I left that bolt out and haven't had any problems with it. It's held on just fine. I think partly due to the transmission cross member. That is the stock transmission cross member from the B2. It was the manual cross member. I think there's a little bit of difference between the manual and the automatic cross member in the Gen 1 Rangers and B2s. I just cut the ends off of it because it used to mount on the outside of the frame. Welded on the plate. Drilled a couple holes in the radius arm brackets and weld the plate to it and bolt right through it. No issues out of it. Keeps the chain nice and solid. The original holes was there when I had the M50D and the V6 in here, but I had to weld a plate on top of it to extend it forward towards the front of the vehicle for the mounts on the C4. As you can see, C4 is pretty oily. Like I said, it drips oil. When I popped the lines off up there, not much fluid came out, so that might have been half my problem with it slipping out of gear, but I was pretty certain that I had enough fluid in there the first few times it slipped out of gear and popped back in. So whatever, neither here nor there. We're dropping this out and putting the manual in there. I'm tired of the automatic. I'm tired of the problems. It seemed like every trip this past summer I always had a problem with it. Whether first problem was my shifter cable for I had a B&M Ratech shifter, as you saw in the other video. That cable split open and busted. Now, it was a used cable and it had wore already, but it hadn't wore through the steel casing, just through the plastic on the outside of the cable, and it popped. Didn't think it would be an issue, but oh well. I got a new one in there, put that one in there. Once I got that in there, then on the collar over here, that collar, you see the bolt and all the washers, that started to slip on me on the trail, and it was because the guy before me used the bolt that was too short. Wasn't enough threads left on that bolt, and basically whenever I moved my shifter, it left the knob alone, but the arm would move, and that parked it for the night. Found that next morning, just put a new bolt in there, some washers, because the bolt was just a little bit too long. Hasn't had a problem with that since then. Another issue was this cheap flexible dipstick that I bought on eBay. It was the metal one that came with it. The stock one was bent up. And I didn't trust it being accurate, and where it comes out up there is just a little awkward. And picked this up, but it's had issues too, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that, but right up there is some electrical tape around it. It actually pulled out of that double nut right there and was pouring out ATF a few trips ago. Ended up having to take it apart the next morning after I ran out of fluid. Luckily I was able to get back to camp. But anyways, like I said, all the bolts are out except for that one. That one's just loose. I just can't push it out until I jack up the transmission. Bolts are out. Drive shafts are out. Front drive shaft was already out, as you saw. Cooler lines are disconnected. The starter has been removed. And the... let's see, what else is there? I got the speedometer cable out. That doesn't do anything. That's just in there to keep oil from pouring out. And the flex plate and torque converter have all 4 nuts have been taken off of that. So all I have left is to jack this up, get the cross member out of the way, and start taking the bolts out of the bell housing. So we should have this out before too long. We'll get back with you when it's out. Alright guys, I figured I'd give you a peek down here before we finish up. Still got to get the flex plate off, get that out of the way, check my rear main seal. I think it's okay. I checked it when the engine was out last winter, so if it's not, it's an easy job. Might as well do it while the transmission's out of the way. Still got to get the cooler lines moved. That's nothing, just disconnect them up front and pull them out. So, like I was saying, this bolt up here, you can see a lot of scratches on the firewall there. Well, that's where I had a lot of issue getting there, up in there to get that bolt. That side wasn't so bad, it was an in and out. That side sucked. Actually, see the dents, that was just fresh from tonight. I had to dent it out of the way to make some room for me to get my swivel socket up in there. So I will, after I get the flex plate out of the way, I will massage that a little bit more. But I also got to take measurements and see right where that is going to pop through. It's going to pop through somewhere right there. Somewhere. Just don't know where. For you guys doing 5.0 swaps in the Bronco 2 and Gen 2 Rangers, you can see this used to be the weld between the firewall and the floor pan. Basically what I did was I took a Sawzall, cut slits in it, and then when the engine was out, I just hammered it flat. That made swapping in the engine and putting the transmission in so much easier. And this one does not have a body lift on it. You can look right here. No body lift. So it's possible without a body lift. Basically just I made some engine mounts out of some stock F-150 engine mounts and kind of just fabricated my own to sit on the existing cross member, drilled some new holes, and yeah, away she went. She sat right down in there. No problems. There's those block hugger headers. They fit very tight. Actually, if you can see, I don't know if you can see on here. Actually, they notched the frame a little bit on that side. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, you see that notch right there? Just barely, not too bad. While I have this out, I might weld the plate on there just for a little bit of strength, but overall not bad. Got some cleaning up to do on the frame. Got some old wires and whatnot hanging out here that I just want to get gone since I'm cutting off the back. I don't need all these wires over here anymore. And you know, there's the old transfer case plug, and you know, there's the speed sensor. I'll probably just plug the hole on the new transmission. There's an old plug from a transmission that's long gone. You know, just gotta do some cleaning up down here. It's a little bit too many wires for what I need. I did rip some wires out right there. That's my O2 sensor. No wires in it anymore. Don't know what I hit to rip them out, but that one's still good. So we'll just I get a new sensor and plug her in there and call it good. Yeah.